What is up, my friends? It is Thursday evening's Anfield Agenda News Roundup, and of course we're going to be focusing on the big story of the day, which is Alexander Isak not on the plane for Newcastle's pre-season tour, and he wants out. You don't have to take my word for it. I'm going to run you through what the journalists have had to say today. We're going to be asking, will he become a Liverpool player? Hint, I think he very well might. And we're going to, of course, do our very best to be mindful and respectful of the Newcastle fans who have only been mindful and respectful of us. So over the next few minutes, ladies and gentlemen, I am here to tease you about what's in store for tonight's late night agenda, where, of course, we will be piss-boiling par excellence. You would expect nothing less from us here at Anfield Agenda. Watch out for tonight's thumbnail. It's going to be special. So over the next few minutes, I'm going to run you through what the journalists have been saying, what is possible, but I want to know your thoughts. So let me know in the comment section. Drop a like on the video if you enjoy it. And I'm here to just remind you that there's only one funny person here at Anfield Agenda, and his name's not Conor Crosby. It's yours truly. Right, that's all the sarcasm out of the way. And that was sarcasm, by the way. I know some people don't really register sarcasm, but that was sarcasm. I am going to take you through it all though, folks. And of course, if you want this news before anybody else, make sure you get to the Anfield Agenda WhatsApp channel. Scan the QR code there on the screen and it'll bring you right there. Right, let's get cracking, because I promise you there is a lot to get through. So this from Ian Doyle said, Liverpool continue to consider a sensational move for Alexander Isak. Now that's just a little taste, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to ratchet it up as this video goes along. Next up, Ian Doyle also said, despite having on Wednesday completed an initial £69 million move for Eintracht Frankfurt forward Hugo Ekitike, the Reds are still in the market for further reinforcements in their attack and believe Issac would bolster that attack. Now, remember Fabrizio Romano yesterday said Liverpool looking at a potential winger? I'd always had doubts about that, not because I'm doubting Fabrizio Romano, but I knew that Isaac wasn't going away and I knew that Liverpool were still there even after the Ekitike signing. But let's talk about Luis Diaz for a second. Alto Belli said Bayern Munich aren't willing to go as high as €80 million for Luis Diaz. Their internal threshold for Diaz's fee is about €75 million. A sell-on clause is being discussed, so Liverpool would benefit if he is sold to Saudi Arabia later. Bayern are very optimistic that a deal will be done in 7 to 10 days. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where Liverpool will bolster their funds to bring in Alexander Isak. That and the sale of Darwin Núñez as well. So Sky Sports have been talking. One of their journalists, Keith, said, there's no doubt Alexander Isak has been affected by interest from Liverpool, and club bosses are going to have to work hard to get him into a strong headspace going into the season. He's still a Newcastle player, but he won't be, Keith. Let's be honest, bro. He won't be. Now on that, good news, Newcastle fans. Alexander Isak's thigh strain isn't there, because he did go for a scan and the results came back all clear. Well, colour me shocked. He doesn't have a thigh injury? Oh dear. So what might it be then? Let's continue to investigate, folks, shall we? Next up, Alexander Isak has held up his side of the bargain. Newcastle are now desperately trying to sign a forward before fully sanctioning a sale of their striker. A lot of what is playing out in the media is optics. We expect him to become a Liverpool player. Right, after that, we've got Adam Pearson, who said Lewis Hall has been out injured for the last 6 months and is on the plane for the pre-season tour with Newcastle. Joelinton was out of the Celtic game last week and is on the plane for the pre-season tour for Newcastle. Isak quoted by the club as a minor thigh injury and is out of the Asia tour. Makes you think that, doesn't it? Maybe Adam's onto something there. Right, next up, Craig Hope said Alexander Isak tells Newcastle he wants to explore a move away from the club. Now look, Craig Hope is a brilliant correspondent for all things up in Newcastle and around that area. Sincerely, he really is. And if he's even saying now that Isak's telling the club he wants to move on, you can bet your backside that there's truth to that. Next up, Newcastle are in a strong position contractually, but an offer from Liverpool or any club in the region of £150 million, coupled with Isak's own wishes, could yet see a move accelerate in the coming weeks. Again, from Craig Hope. So look, I don't want to be that braggy guy, and I promise you I tried to treat this situation with some sensitivity as it started. But Newcastle fans and the way that they've acted here, well, they've only really got themselves to blame. Because I promise you, Newcastle fans, however intolerable and insufferable you think I am now, I'm only getting warmed up. Next up, we've got Sasha Tavolieri saying Alexander Isak still gives his priority to Liverpool despite Ugo Ekitike's signing. The Swedish striker has made it clear during recent talks with Al Hilal. Al Hilal and Newcastle also had direct contact. Hard deal, but Isaac not closing the door to Saudi just yet. And that is the only thing left that Newcastle fans are hanging on to here. That's how desperate they are for him not to go to us, because apparently selling to us is worse. So let's go through this. Lewis Steele said, Alexander Isak has done his part. The ball is now in Liverpool's court. If Liverpool want the player, I think they should go in with a bid now. And I agree with that. But Liverpool also have to make sure that the funds are in place. Now, here's the biggest one of the whole day for me, ladies and gents, and it comes from David Ornstein. Alexander Isak wants to leave Newcastle United. The absence from the Celtic friendly and the Asia tour is 25-year-old's preference is to leave. Newcastle keen for the Swedish international to stay on an improved deal, but also exploring potential replacements. So what's happening here then? Well, let's wait and see. Next up, we have Martin Hardy saying, exclusive, Isaac rejects Newcastle contract offer and wants to explore a move. Isaac turns down Newcastle's attempts at a new deal, seeks £300,000 a week, exploring his options, and Liverpool still keen on the player. Continuing on with Matt Hardy, we say, it is thought that Isaac wants to keep playing top-level football at this stage of his career, which makes a potential transfer to Liverpool, the Premier League champions, more likely than a move to Saudi Arabia. Next up, Fraz Fletcher said Isaac wants to move to Anfield and Liverpool have the financial power to sanction the deal despite buying Ugo Ekitike. So remember that conversation, Newcastle fans? I'm sure you're all still there in your Antendek pyjamas, but right now, remember the conversation we all had where I said you should sell us Isaac because, well, we'd move after Ekitike. That's playing out exactly as we told you it was going to, and now, well, it's getting worse because now you look like you're going to lose Isaac as well. Billy Hogan, speaking to James Pearce, said, this is one of the biggest clubs in the world. We want to make sure that we're behaving like it. So I want to talk about something on tonight's stream as well. So I've eaten my humble pie, plenty of it as you can see, and I've taken my lumps for the FSG out Where's the Money John and all the other stuff. But I want to have a little talk tonight about the other side of this coin. The people who were telling the rest of us that we were all behaving like fantasy football merchants and that Liverpool were doing everything in their power to make sure the manager was back. We're going to talk about that tonight because they've gone quiet. Next up, ladies and gents, Ben Jacobs said Liverpool are not ruling out a former bid for Alexander Isak. As you can see, I'm in rather fine form today. Why wouldn't I be as a Liverpool fan? Life's just great. Next up, Moby Haig has said Liverpool have overtaken Manchester United in terms of commercial revenue for the first time in the Premier League era. It's loads of money. We've loads of money, basically. We do what we want. That's what we're moving in this window. 300 million, watch this space. 500 million, don't rule that out. Next up, Fabrizio Romano said Luis Diaz sale will enable Liverpool to bid for Alexander Isak, who wants to leave Newcastle. I'm very close to breaking into song here, I'm not going to lie. Next up, nothing concrete between Isaac and Al Hilal, said Fabrizio. The real possibility is linked to Liverpool. Now Isaac is opening his doors to Liverpool. And don't you worry, Alexander. We are ready to walk right through them doors, sir, and greet you with a big, massive hug. Next up is Mark Ogden of ESPN saying Alexander Isak is open to the possibility of a move away from Newcastle this summer, with Liverpool the front runners to sign the forward if he becomes available. Next up, Liverpool would happily sign Isaac. They're willing to commit the funds with a package of around £130 million having previously been mooted. The one sticking point, of course, is Newcastle themselves, who were under no obligation to sell, said Ian Doyle. Ian might be right, they might not be under an obligation, but they're under a lot of pressure. Right, Fabrizio Romano said Chelsea are not actively working on the Alexander Isak deal and have no interest in proceeding despite reports. Chelsea are very happy with their strikers and are fully focused on Xavi Simons and Jurel Haddo deals. The club working on Isak deals is and remains Liverpool. So here's where we have the copium from the Newcastle fans. Newcastle fans. Magpie Media said, breaking, Alexander Isak's representatives believe that life-altering sums are available in Saudi Arabia, according to MSI Douglas. That will be easier to stomach. Let me talk you through this. It ain't going to happen, my friends. It's just not going to happen because he doesn't want to go to Saudi Arabia despite these eye-watering sums of money at 25 years of age because he wants to win stuff. And I know Newcastle won the League Cup, and I tried to play nice here, but now he's got sights on the big prizes with the big boys, and that, of course, is Arne Slot, Liverpool Football Club, and the mighty Reds. Liverpool are working on personal terms with Issac, writes Sam C reports. Internal talks underway over the size of a potential offer. Issac has no interest in a move to Saudi Arabia, as per Fabrizio Romano. So Newcastle fans are going to have to start realising what's happening here and start to think realistically. Benjamin Šeško has been linked as a possible replacement. Could be a good signing. But like I said weeks ago, the longer they drag this out, the worse their own position becomes. And that's proving to be the case. So, ladies and gentlemen, tonight, 8:45. No excuses. I need you here. We're going to party. Join me at 8:45. I love you all to bits. Talk soon. Bye-bye.